Well, good Tuesday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up here this morning, guys. Wake up. How are you doing, Brother Stu? Oh, my goodness. I've got work to do. This weekend, I got to talk to Blue Virus, Sugar Daddy, Roz, about fantasy football. I need to start getting that stuff together and start getting a list and stuff. I will try and work on that stuff today. I've had a lot of things that have been going on along with dealing with this cold from hell that I've been dealing with and things. You know what? But I am blessed with another day, of course, full of opportunities. And opportunities in life are all around us if we are open to them, if we have our eyes, and if we constantly keep working towards goals. You never know what you might be able to accomplish, and never sell yourself short, and always put yourself outside of your comfort zone of doing things. So I'm beginning to worry a little bit about Michael Irvin, okay? I guess about a week ago, he was quoted as saying that he feels like a dynasty is being built with the Eagles. You know, Eagle fans who booed him literally breaking his neck are now, of course, yeah, Michael Irvin, that's my guy. You know, he's hated until he says something good about you. But yesterday, he was going on and talking about the Dallas Cowboys and saying, if they take care of their penalty issues, he could see them being like the 72 Dolphins. Michael Irvin, you have to wonder, what the heck's going on? We're all over the board. The 72 Dolphins were the only NFL team to go undefeated. Now, let me preface this and say that I believe the Miami Dolphins, their schedule during the regular season was a cake schedule. I believe they did not face a team with a winning record. I believe that's true. I need to double check it, but it was a soft schedule. Just going to say that. Regardless, though, in the NFL, being undefeated is still undefeated. It's a feat that not too many people accomplish. In fact, only one team has. Well, New England did during the regular season, but lost the Super Bowl to the Giants because, well, let's face it, Tom Brady does not like pressure in his face. And that's one of the things that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be able to do this time around. And I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to beat Tampa Bay and Tom Brady finally, but the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. Just watch. As we sit here, 23 days, 11 hours, 3 minutes, and 38 seconds away from kickoff of the 29th season. But they had an interesting conversation this morning on the Max Kellerman show about just that. And let's go through and listen to this, because this is actually kind of interesting.
They used to have that over here. Remember that it kept falling issues, over there.
Man. We got financial budget issues. Don't bring too much attention to our.
Just project your voice. Forget about the microphone. Dan, Michael Irvin said yesterday, first of all, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, good to see you too.
That he thinks the Cowboys could chase the 72 Dolphins.
Yeah.
He should have said for 14 wins, not an undefeated season, but he said an undefeated season.
Let's put a little context to it.
Okay.
If they clean up the penalties.
What?
That's what he said. I didn't say it.
All right, so no. Look, first of all, no, period. Like the end of the quote, as I saw it, was, "Did I say something crazy?" And the answer is yes, because that's not a conceivable thing. I mean, like the 72 Dolphins had 6 Hall of Famers, not counting the coach who won more games than any other coach who ever lived. They had been in the previous year's Super Bowl and lost it. The following year, after the undefeated season, they went 12-2 and won the Super Bowl again. Even if you have very high hopes for this year's Cowboys team, that's way beyond anything you can reasonably expect. And I mean, the only reason to say it is to provoke a reaction, get attention. And so good for him. He did it. But, like, that's not
But he really believes that, though.
Yeah, he bleeds Cowboys.
No, the playmaker really believes that. You gotta remember, Dan, He's all silver and blue.
Yeah, he bleeds it. I get it.
Even if he believes it, he's the only one, it seems like, thus far that has said something out there like that about the Cowboys.
Makes me nervous.
Typically, each preseason, we start hearing rumblings about, the Cowboys, Super Bowl champion, they could be good. Yeah. We haven't heard that this
Should
preseason.
we be nervous about that, Dan, that no one's taking them?
Sometimes when the least is expected, they accomplish the most.
You know, it's you covered the Giants when this was going on, right?
Yeah.
Like, no one took the Giants. They won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I guess. Look, I mean, that at the time, you're talking about they won 2 Super Bowls with Parcells and Coughlin as head coach. I mean, like, it's a little different situation. I think, first of all, to think that the penalties were the only problem the Cowboys had last year, I think is foolish. I mean, like, they had a really good record, but they dominated their division games. And 6-0 in their division just absolutely crushed the other 3 teams. If you take their point differential in those games out, they become a very ordinary team when they played anybody else. So they have other stuff to clean up. The defense played at a high level, but it was mainly fueled by really unsustainable turnover numbers, right? That probably comes down. So can the defense play better overall when it's not forcing turnovers at that rate? I think that's a key question. Significant losses at wide receiver. Age on the offensive line. Tyron Smith isn't able to get through seasons healthy anymore. Zach Martin's shown a little bit in terms of health issues the last couple of years. So I think there are bigger questions with this team than just penalties. I think the question with Dallas is, can they win the division again? No one's repeated in 18 years in that division. Can they? If you can answer those questions, I still think you're a mile away from saying they can go undefeated.
Can they go farther to the playoffs? Meaning, can they win a single playoff?
Go beyond to the first round. Exactly.
Win a game.
These are more reasonable goals.
So look, one of the reasons, Dan.
72 Dolphins.
Well, yeah, I think so. One of the reasons that maybe if they expand to like 19 games in a season, they can win 14 games, right? One of the reasons we're talking about the Cowboys now, are they flying under the radar a little, is because the Eagles are the hot pick. Better at the line of scrimmage, you would think, on both sides of the ball. Jalen Hurts ascending. But for those who like the Cowboys, they say Cowboys have a commodity at quarterback we feel more comfortable with at this moment
you have
than
to
the
look
Eagles.
at that.
So how good could Jalen Hurts be this year, do you think?
I think that's the key question, right? Like college, he was a second-round pick. The Eagles obviously really liked him. Can he become the passer they need him to be on downfield throws, on third downs, from the pocket, all that stuff? I think they're open to that idea, but he has to show that. I think that's one of the stories. I think that the young man has inside of himself the ability to show that, to do that. But we can't see the future. We don't know whether he will. If he does, I think they're the better team.
See, when I look at quarterbacks, I take it in a lot of different steps in measurables in terms of what they do, how their style of play. Last year was his rookie season.
Yeah, basically. What did he play, like 5 games, 4 or 5 games the year before?
4 games.
Right,
it was not even real, right? Dan was like, whatever. The team was dysfunctional. They're arguing about Carson
Wentz.
Right,
and they ran it. And it was
Carson Wentz making announcements before he takes the ball.
Some guy who's the backup that we never heard of before. Get rid of that.
Right. Yeah.
Last year was his first year. He took a team to the playoffs. Started off slow. New head coach. They figured it out, what the NFL is all about. He goes into the playoffs. He plays against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What did you expect?
Right, of course.
I mean, like, seriously. Yeah. Now, this year, the offseason comes. They got all these number 1 picks, and they're going to do this and that. They made a decision not to go after a quarterback because Jalen Hurts was their guy.
They're going to find out about him.
And now we go to the preseason. We watch him engineer a drive, touchdown, tight end, woo. And we still having a conversation on whether or not he's going to be their guy. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me because in this league that don't have the talent that he has continue to get the opportunity to get better. Why can't he get the opportunity to get better and lead this team to a championship?
Well, I think he is getting that opportunity.
No,
right?
he is. But there's so much reservation out there about what he is.
He's not tall.
I think
he's not like that's what it is.
It's not us, but it's people.
But I think objectively there are things, and again, I think there are things the Eagles coaching staff wants to see him work on and improve. And I think those things are pretty clearly delineated. And again, he's got the opportunity. They did not go after a quarterback this offseason, in part because the quarterback class in the draft was not very inspiring to a lot of people. Remember, they had the 3 first-round picks. They ended up trading one of them. Now they have 2 next year. So they've hedged a little bit, right? If he goes backwards or if he doesn't advance the way they want him to this year, they have the 2 first-rounders in a much better quarterback, presumably a much better quarterback class.
I don't want to stay on this too long, but the way that I look at it, maybe I'm not a good evaluator of talent. Who knows? He's better than the guys that are in college right now.
Right.
He's better
but
than
Key, that
them.
but what Dan's pointing out, and I think makes a lot of sense. I think it's actually rational from the Eagles. We're going to give this kid everything he needs to take a step forward, but we're also going to trade one of our picks this year for a first rounder next year, because if we don't see what we need to see, doesn't mean he has to win the Super Bowl.
Maybe I'm just sensitive that for him. Maybe I'm just sensitive for him.
And fair enough.
Maybe I am.
And fair enough. But again, he is getting an opportunity, right? I mean, this is his second year entering the season as the clear-cut starter. He took over as the starter the year before, his rookie year, from a guy that they had just signed to a significant long-term contract after spending significant draft capital to get him. So he's definitely someone, right? There's somebody, but the Eagles, as much as any other team, are always going to hedge at quarterback, right? I mean, like they drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round right after they signed Carson Wentz, or right before they were going to sign Carson. That they won the Super Bowl with their backup. Like that's the lesson that the Eagles will always carry with them.
I don't know.
So they don't want to ever be caught short at the position. They don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to look like a year from now.
I just don't like that they don't know a year from now, because what happens is we talk about it.
We talk about
it. Narrative that
it
follows
becomes a narrative. It creeps in the mind. And all of a sudden, it just.
But in this case, Key, I think what Dan.
Why aren't we doing this with Mac Jones, or why aren't we doing this with Trey Lance, or why are we?
If Mac Jones doesn't show improvement, actually, we will be thin.
See, I think we are. I think. I don't. Honestly, what we do doesn't actually matter. What we're talking about is how the coaching staff looks at the player, how the organization looks at the player, and I think the Eagles organization looks at this player and has high hopes and believes that he can be something, but recognizes that, like any other young player, second, third-year quarterback, there's room for growth, and they want to see certain growth. The Patriots want to see something from Mac Jones. If he doesn't play as well this year as he did last year, they're going to.
Okay, so enough of the Hurts fest here, and again, it all hedges on what the quarterback does. Now, the interesting thing that's going to be is, or to me it is, there's always the hot team. The hot team that everybody is always saying they're going to be the one to beat. And generally speaking, that usually disappoints. You can look at after the 2014 season, we were the hot team to beat in the NFC East. And unfortunately, Tony Romo gets hurt, and we end up with a 4-12 season. In 2016, after Dak and Zeke's rookie year, we were 13-3, and you could look at that, and everybody was going through and saying, "Oh my God, the Cowboys are ready to take the next step," and we disappointed. You could look at last year and say people were looking at the Washington Commanders away, and saying that they were the team to beat going down the stretch and stuff, and they disappointed. So maybe the Eagles end up following into that same track. The thing I like is nobody is expecting the Cowboys to do anything. And see, it's always the quiet ones that you have to worry about. It's always the team that comes out of left field that you're not expecting, the Cincinnati Bengals that go to the Super Bowl and do things. So we'll have to wait and see. I know Eagle fans are ready to get their division championship crown right now. But you know what? We're going to wait and see what happens. I hope you guys have a great day. I am beginning to feel a little bit better. This cold has kind of moved more into my chest and less in my head. I don't feel like my head is in a vice anymore. And my throat feels like I've taken the knife out of it, at least. Still have the cough and a little bit of the sniffles and things. And I apologize for coughing on air. But, hey, we got to bring you the news. The Cowboys, of course, will be practicing today. They're actually getting into a regular weekday schedule of practicing. Yesterday was a walkthrough in Oxnard. Today will be actually a practice. They'll end up taking a train down to Los Angeles and then practicing against the Chargers and playing Saturday night. So no time to rest, no time to worry about what happened. What we need to do is start focusing on what we can do right coming up. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you guys, and we'll be bringing you the news on the Dallas Cowboys.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe for the Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is